Oh, sorry. I didn't see that we were rolling. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tanks Talks Movies. And, you know what time it is. I promise you. So, we got Secret of the Ooze right here. Now let me tell you a little bit about this movie. It takes place probably a few weeks right after the first one. April's got a new apartment building, the turtles are living up there. But the first couple scenes is pretty funny, just opening thing, they're just music's playing, blah blah blah, this, blah blah blah, that. And we get introduced to a turtle's friend named Kino, who works at a pizza place, of course, as a delivery person. He shows up to work, just to do his job. He gets there, and his boss tells him to be safe, all this good stuff. He ends up, starting to deliver a pizza to April O'Neil's house, by the way. And he goes, prior to going there, he stops at like a little mini mall thing that's getting robbed by a bunch of goons. He just goes in, just starts, he's holding the pizza holding bag, the pizza warmer bag. That's what it's called. And they're gonna start beating him up, but he ends up kicking the crap out of at least 3 of the guys. Then I want to say at least 20 other goons come out, and they're ready to just jump Kino. And I think that's his name. Could you all help me out here, guys? Is it Kino? If you all know, check in the comments. Tell me in the comments. Well, Kino's getting ready to fight, but he goes one of these eat moments, and then he gets ready to. Then Leonardo, Raphael, Donatello, and Michelangelo show up. Then the screen comes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Ooze. Then they go beat up these bad guys, etc., etc. There's a lot of hilarity in this random fight scene. Well, there's a scene where Michelangelo is just playing with a yo-yo, doing the old tricks we all used to do back in the day, walk the dog. And then he does around the world, knocking out a bunch of the goons with the yo-yo. And then all of a sudden, Donatello's just running through. He's getting ready to fight something. He bumps into a clown that apparently can spring back and forth. And he thinks he uses his head. He goes, yeah, yeah, yeah. So Donnie takes the clown off and he stands on it. And then one of the bad guys come up and he goes, boing, lifts his hand up, and the guy starts to shove it, shove Donnie into doing all these things. And then he just starts messing around with the guy, and all of a sudden he just freaks him out by going bah, and then he's just chasing him, then he beats him up eventually. And then they go, more hilarity happens. Moral of this story, guys, is don't rob a bank or a thing or a mini mall, because the turtles will come and kick your butt. Then there's, Kino calls the police. Then the turtles go back up to April's apartment, and then she gets home. They have pizza. Apparently her apartment's just a big mess. The rat is the cleanest one, she says, and they continue around just fighting. Not fighting, but having fun. Excuse me. They bring up the term ninja pizza. Pizza that vanished without a trace. Then Raphael tells Mikey to throw him a ninja slice, and then a tiny mini football game goes along. Just a lot of hilarity. It's a lot of fun. And Well, then then a whole bunch of stuff happens. April asks if they're going to be finding another place to live anytime soon, and then there's like, well, there's laws, like, excuse me. Donatello's like looking at a newspaper, and he's like, well, it's really hard to find low ground housing in these parts. So, they go, well, then Raphael tells them, why don't they go back to the old sewer den? And then they're like, then Leonardo tells them, well, we can't because the foot knows where they live now. And, well, then, Raphael pretty much explains how Shredder fell into the garbage truck, etc., etc. Splinter comes and says, Raphael, get away from there. And then they talk, or they're talking and all that stuff, and Splinter telling April that they won't be there long, they'll find another place. They go to they find a new, like, sewer place. It's a thing in the sewer. It's like an abandoned subway station where, they just have a subway car, and they just, that's where they live, They have a good time there. You only see it for like maybe 4 or 5 takes. They end up moving in there, then like Kino tries to join the Foot, to do recon for the turtles, and then they just have. Then Raphael gets captured by the Foot and Shredder, and the Foot steal a scientist man that have the ooze that made the turtles turn into like their human size. So they use the ooze for a wolf and a snapping turtle to make Taka and Razor, who when I was younger thought would have been Bebop and Rocksteady, but that's for a different movie. Now, they make Taka and Razor, and the turtles end up trying to fight Taka and Razor and just getting whooped. What do? They're 2 giant mutated things, and they beat up the turtles, and then again the turtles beat them up with science, and then the awkwardest, weirdest cameo ever. We have Vanilla Ice performing at a dance club, and then the Shredder, tries to pour some ooze on this lady, but then Kino shows up, does a roundhouse kick to the Shredder, knocking the ooze canister flying, but he has a tiny little thing that he ends up drinking, becoming Super Shredder, knocking over a dock and stuff like that, and just destroying a bunch of stuff. And that's pretty much how the movie ends, folks. And actually, the funniest way the movie ends is where they go back to the new lair where Splinter is waiting, and then he asks them, where you've seen? And they're like, no. And he shows them a newspaper with all 4 of them on there, and saying, "Go Ninja, go Ninja, go!"